Welcome to The Glitter Effect, a podcast dedicated to shining a light on the movers, shakers, change makers, and all-round living legends of our communities who are making a real difference. And today on The Glitter Effect, I am joined by a guest who is someone who truly embodies the glitter effect. Bernadette Blair is the founding board member and chair of Next Steps Australia. Bernadette is a fierce advocate for women and their families escaping domestic and family violence. And her commitment to restoring their sense of dignity and self-worth, as well as supporting them in establishing new homes and lives, is nothing short of inspiring. Through the practical assistance of Manchester Packs and parenting resources, Next Steps Australia ensures that those starting over aren't doing it alone. In this conversation, we unpack the origin story of the organisation and the work that defines Next Steps Australia. From heartbreak to hope, this is a chat about resilience, community, and the power of giving people a second chance, and how we can all play a part in that. Bernadette Blair, it's my absolute pleasure to welcome you to The Glitter Effect.
Thanks, Kate, so much for the invitation to be able to share the work of Next Steps Australia and how we started off and what we achieved today.
Amazing. Well, let's dive straight in, Bernadette, because I know you're a busy lady as well. So talk us through, tell us exactly what is Next Steps Australia and what inspired it. In particular, was there an initial moment that made you say, we need to do something?
Next Steps Australia really is an organisation that was built to assist the survivors of domestic violence. I wanted to do something really practical. And I think over the years, 50 years ago when I was principal of a school in the western suburbs, I think that was really when I became exposed to and or came to understand what domestic and family violence was about. And then quite a number of our family members are in the medical profession, and they, over the years, sort of would come home and tell you really sad stories about what they had to, sort of deal with in emergency. And then another really big factor was I went to a Rotary meeting one night and I heard the CEO of one of Melbourne's big refuges speak. Her name is Paula Westhead, and we're so lucky to have her on our board at the moment as well. And her story was so moving. I sort of remember coming home and being so inspired, upset, and thinking, we really have to do something. But I think the clincher was a family member rang me one night. It was 10 o'clock after she'd finished her shift. She was absolutely devastated. A lady had been brought in that night and she'd had both her eyes gouged out, and the bones in both her hands had been broken. And I thought, that's it. That was kind of the, what do you call it, the defining moment where I felt that I just had to do something. And I was really lucky because you're at a certain age and my children had grown and I knew lots of people whom I could, tap their shoulders and say, look, can you help me out here? And what I did was initially I spoke to everyone and just said, what do you think of the idea? And then I interviewed the CEOs and or the fundraising person or a member of 3 of the big refuges here in Victoria. And I sort of said to them, well, what is it that people want? When they're leaving the refuge and going out and transitioning to private accommodation, what do they need? And they said, well, they've got nothing. They come in and with very, very little. They're financially, impoverished because they don't have jobs anymore. So I thought, what can we do to make it possible to add to the quality of their life, give them some dignity, and also help to reestablish their sense of self-worth.
So you've obviously, from different experiences over that time, that sparked a big fire in your belly to then go on and create what we now know as Next Steps Australia. But how did you get to the point of deciding that Manchester Packs, for example, were the way to go?
So after speaking to the to representatives from the three quite large refuges here in Melbourne, I realised amongst some of the, I think that they were talking about, sort of white goods, all the different types of assistance that people needed in re-establishing new homes.
Yep.
I thought, well, Manchester was a really good choice because it was something they could take with them. It would save them money, and at least the children could be, sort of have nice, clean bedding to go to bed in at night, because one of the other stories that I'd heard about at the time was an Indigenous leader, elder, who had actually, her daughter had separated from her husband, and she was wrapping the children in curtains and newspaper at night to keep them warm.
Goodness.
So I thought this was something that we could do. And one of our directors actually was in a networking breakfast one morning, and she spoke to the in-house counsel at Spotlight, and he invited her for us to come to a meeting. And so the germ of the idea came from there, and we put together, they said that, they'd pick and pack, put together quilts, sheets, towels, everything to do with the bedroom and the bathroom, and they'd also help assist and do the shipping. So that's when we got started. Yeah, it was really amazing.
That's amazing. That's sliding door moments right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the right place.
So that's how we
right time.
started, and that's what we started off with.
So just talk me through as well, and this is why I loved when I was learning about your organisation. You asked for donations so that you can then provide the sheet packs and the Manchester packs for the families. Is that correct?
Yes, we have major donors, we have no government support, and we also have cold calling company. And that's how, because during COVID there was no way, of course, with lockdown, we couldn't hold functions or fundraising functions. So we employed the services of a cold calling company, and that's how we got our money to be able to extend the service, not just to Victoria, but all around Australia.
Amazing. And how do people, do you work with other organisations on the ground who identify people that require these
we
packs?
work through refuges.
Okay.
So we work with refuges in every state and territory.
Yep.
And we have not a relationship, but, sort of I talk to them every year, or my PA does. And what we do is ask them what they need.
Yep.
And we provide two boxes, really. We provide a box for the mother. The contents are exactly the same. They're identical. And one for mothers, one for children. It just varies in size.
Yeah.
And so there are two models. The Manchester packs are distributed to women and children on their arrival in the refuge, and they can use it while they're there, or they take it with them when they go.
Ah, that's perfect. Lovely.
But the Manchester remains the property of the mothers and children.
That's lovely. That's nice. And I suppose by you providing it through your partner like Spotlight, you ensure that the quality is the same and that it's not.
And that's not just, they go above and beyond, to be perfectly honest. Instead of just, you can open a box and it might, it's not purple and orange or whatever. They give a lot of thought to putting together a theme. It could be aqua and white and grey, or lilac and pink and grey, or off-white. So they're absolutely marvellous. But the Spotlight store at Maroochydore box and send out the Queensland orders. There's another group in Western Australia, and Bayswater here in Melbourne to supply the rest of Australia.
That's amazing, and that's true partnerships, isn't it? That's so good. Yeah. Just flipping back and forth a bit now, Bernadette. So your role as chair. You've always been the chair, have you, since it's established?
I have.
What year did it establish?
Pardon?
What year did Next Steps Australia establish?
2016.
Okay.
We floated the idea and started the research and work into the development and formation of the organisation in 2015, but we were really established in 2016.
Okay. So that's a big undertaking for you. So what's been your role as chair, and how have you seen your connection to the work at Next Steps Australia evolve?
It's actually over time, it's really become a full-time job.
I'm
And
sure.
because it's so multifaceted, the work of chair, it's sort of you're involved in direct administration. You're involved in maintaining relationships with your partners, with your refuges, with your ambassadors,
Mm,
directors, um, programs that you have instituted. So yeah, it's a very time-consuming job, but I love it. I really enjoy it, and it's on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, I spend at least 6 hours a day working in the role.
that's big, Bernadette. That's
Yeah.
big. And you're not paid?
No, none of
No,
us are.
none of you are. So you're completely volunteer led.
Yeah.
That's
Everyone
incredible.
is volunteer-led, and we don't receive any payment whatsoever. So it makes it, it makes you realise the people that surround you are just amazingly
Amazing.
amazing people.
And on that, with obviously there'd be days where, you're turning up and it's a tough day. There's, you've got it ebbs and flows, doesn't it, when you're running an organization like this?
Mm.
What keeps you going on those tough days?
I think it's the feedback.
Mm,
I think there's many factors. I think the personalities and the commitment and the passionate response from the people who surround you is just, it buoys you and it makes you realize that they're quite extraordinary people. They
mm.
have families, they have jobs, and yet they still find the time. Like today I rang someone and said, look, would you look at this grant application? Yes, I've got some time. I'll do it. I'll look at it for you this afternoon. It's always takes my breath away, really, at the commitment of these people, and including, sort of, as I said, men and women who come from all walks of life.
Yeah, which is amazing. And you're based in Melbourne. Do
Yeah.
you have volunteers across Australia other than through the refuges that you work? Do you have any volunteers outside of Melbourne, or the team is predominantly based in
No,
Melbourne?
I've got a gentleman in New South Wales who helps me look after the refuges there.
Yeah.
We have no, not really. It's basically within the team itself.
Yeah.
So, but his help is invaluable because he takes a lot of the work off my shoulders for New South Wales.
And that's
And
huge. That's a
yeah, well,
big.
he maintains the relationships and sort of he keeps in touch with them. So it's a big help.
Yeah. And so what are some of the highs and lows that you've gone through?
Highs
What?
and lows.
Mm,
I think, as I said, the highs are really about the people you work with,
yeah.
and they buoy you. And when sort of their commitment, which drives so many of the programs,
Mm,
and the amount of time they dedicate is always inspiring to me.
mm,
I think also the testimonials from survivors.
yeah.
The testimonials are just so heartbreaking at times. There's a couple we've had over the years that just really make you want to weep.
Mm,
But that's what drives you and gives you purpose and focus and keeps you going.
yeah.
The lows, I think it's the daily news that you hear, like at the moment in
Mm-hmm.
2024, 104 women were killed, as well as 17 children. And often we don't hear about the children who die.
Mm,
And already in 2025, as of today, there are 41 women dead and 14 children.
mm. That's awful
Just,
statistics.
they're horrible statistics. And yeah, if you're talking about lows, that really hits home.
Mm. Things like this, obviously, like you're saying, there are tough days, and you take it home, a lot of it as well, because it's your passion. There along the way, what are some of the things that you've learnt about yourself, about compassion, about leadership in this space? Because it's very different. It's a space that not many of us, thankfully, know much about. But there are people out there listening who know a lot about it. So what have you learnt along the way?
Look, I think, I keep on coming back to the people.
Mm,
It's people, driven, it's people orientated, it's people who buoy you, it's people whose commitment and the fact that you can rely on people, the fact that they're prepared to give their time, it really amazes you that they're prepared to put so much work into considering, sort of they've got families, and I think it's really important to remember the enormous contribution they make. But that really, for me, has been the biggest eye-opener.
Yeah, that's very special. Like you say, it's very special. Now, the podcast is called The Glitter Effect, and I like to refer to people as glitter kings and queens, of which you are a true glitter queen, Bernadette, with what you do. And it's really aiming at those who shine in very quiet and powerful ways. A lot of people get to this point because there are people along their journey that have inspired them, or fellow glitter kings and queens who have inspired them to get to this point. Who has been someone in your life along the way, or it could be a few people that have inspired you?
I think there's a number of people involved, really.
Yeah.
We have a group of people called the Ladies of Langwarrin, and they've been working with me now for about at least 6 to 8 years. They started out putting together Manchester packs. These are a group of ladies who live in a suburb of Melbourne, and they're pensioners mainly, and they put most of their available funds towards creating backpacks for children at Christmas time.
Yeah.
And they collect books. They're absolutely amazing. They've got pajamas, they've got clothes, they've got activity books, they've got coloured pencils, they've got a soft teddy bear, they've got games. And sometimes they even include, shampoo and soaps, etc. And those ladies put aside their time and they pack them, they gather the goods together. And, last year I think they put together nearly 160 backpacks.
Wow.
And all fully funded by themselves.
That's amazing.
I just find that awe-inspiring, actually. So another person who has inspired me is Dr. Annika Engwerder. She's a director of Next Steps Australia, and she's also a paediatrician. And during COVID, Annika attended an online infant mental health conference, which highlighted the importance of relationships and play during the critical development period of early childhood. So, unfortunately, children, of course, exposed to domestic violence are at higher risk of developing behavioural and emotional issues. Yep. So what she did as a result, she designed a 4-level program which assists in fostering and facilitating relationships between a parent and caregiver and the child. The play packs are designed to give ideas to the parents on how to interact with their children and connect through play. So Annika was also supported by the Raising Children's Network, which is the online website for parenting in Australia, and they have contributed to the development of the resource boxes. And the boxes contain a selection of really carefully curated toys for each of the appropriate age groups. And a booklet is provided in each box explaining how to use the resources, how to use the games, as well as links to other organisations and resources for further support and information. And we have videos, which you can see on the website, and they're introduced by Lucy Durack, the Australian actress, who are sort of like a visual guide to demonstrate how to use the contents of the boxes as well.
That's beautiful. That's so lovely.
They're gorgeous. So we've got the first one is from birth to 12 months. Then we've got a second one from 1 to 3 years, kinder steps from 3 to 5 years, and then primary steps from 5 to 12
and
years.
Was that set up at the same time you established it? So
that was
later.
During COVID. Annika had the idea, and then she developed it and wrote the books. And we've rolled out 2 of the program elements of the program to date. and that's the baby step book
Yep.
boxes and the toddler step boxes.
Amazing.
And she's working on the kinder steps, the 3 to 5-year-olds at the moment.
That is so good. And
Yeah.
gee, there's so many incredible people out there doing amazing things. And this
And
is
that's
why I love
sort of one of our sponsors, one of our corporate partners does all the design work for the books, and they actually won the World Design Award for their work on the, they got gold for community and identity for the World Design Awards for 2025 for our website.
Fantastic. That's amazing. So you have actually then you've grown then beyond your Manchester packs. And that's just something that happened, or is that an area that you said we need to do something in, or it's just grown organically?
It's all grown organically more than
Which is
anything.
It's the best
And
way.
then in 2024, another one of our programs, which is a very exciting development, was with the Readings Foundation. And what we worked with them, and we applied for a grant actually, and we applied to have 5 libraries in country refuges established.
Yep.
So Readings provided thousands of dollars worth of books, and we provided the bookcases. And in 24, we were able to establish 5 libraries in country Victoria.
Wow.
And this year, they assisted us in creating another 7 libraries for both country and metropolitan areas.
That's amazing. Beautiful.
So they, sort of, we get the bookcases, send them, and Readings supply all the books through their Readings Foundation.
Again, such a simple gesture, but so powerful and meaningful to so many people. It's incredible. So we are flipping back and forth, but that's fine. There's so much to unpack. So you've named 2 Glitter Kings and Queens. Is there anyone else that inspired you?
The overwhelming inspiration, of course, for me is always the ladies, the survivors and their children, and the stories that you hear. And you think to yourself, you've got to do more. You've got to do more.
Yeah.
We've got to try and raise more money to be able to support more refuges. And I've only had one meeting with a survivor. We don't actually work with the survivors per se. We work through the managers and the people at the refuge. Yeah. But I did have a meeting with a lady in a country town once, and it really haunted me. The children's sense of hopelessness was quite distressing. And the story of the mother who was a university graduate, but she'd been in a relationship for 8 years, and she wasn't allowed to make a decision about a single thing. Not what to buy for food, clothes for the children, anything for the house. And she said that when she received, the box of Manchester, it was like Christmas for she and her children, because they had something that was theirs. And she just said, it made her feel so good and so valued, and that somebody cared about her. And when you actually speak to somebody who is a survivor, it's very confronting, but it's also very inspiring. And it's a driver that really pushes you to sort of do more. Numbers can be very confusing, because I think that when people hear numbers, they think, well, how can I possibly do anything to help? But when you listen to a single story of a single person and her battles and what she has to do, to survive and to provide for her children, I think that's when you connect. And that makes more of an impact on you than being, huge amounts of numbers.
That's that emotional connection, isn't it? And that's human nature. Yeah, absolutely.
And I can
it's
remember
very
coming
powerful.
home at the board meeting, sort of talking about it and crying, because it was just so terribly moving. And I thought, that's why I think previously you were talking about the glitter effect and, sort of the people that, who inspire you. I think I have been really overwhelmed by the work that the people in the refuges are involved in. And I think that they we never hear about them. We don't hear it. Very rarely do we hear about the women, which is correct, but we don't hear a lot about the people who actually work in the refuges, supporting the women and children, and the roles that they play and the work that they do, because it's something that I think I couldn't do it. I'd be overwhelmed.
It's a big undertaking, but there are some special people out there like yourself, and everyone has something to give. So powerful. The story is so powerful, Bernadette. And next steps, obviously there's, I say unfortunately, there's more work for you to do. What's on the horizon for Next Steps Australia? What do you think is going to happen next? Have you got any plans, or is it just seeing what comes next and let things grow organically?
No, I think really our main aim is just to increase. We don't want to do any more programs.
Yep.
We have what we do at the moment is sufficient, but we want to extend those programs. So our focus really is on fundraising and being able to assist more ladies going through more refuges and extend future steps into the rest of Australia. So that really is the focus of where we're heading at the moment.
Amazing. And if people listening, and I can't believe people wouldn't, wanted to find out more about Next Steps Australia and how they can get involved, how do they do that, Bernadette?
I think going to the website's a really good idea, and they can see clear definitions in what we do, our work, and if they would like to contribute either financially or volunteering or assist with fundraising, you can always contact us.
And what's the website?
nextstepsaustralia.org.au.
Amazing. Bernadette, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being a guest on the Glitter Effect podcast. It's not an easy topic to talk about, and your presence, your honesty and compassion has lit up the microphone today and left a lasting impression on me, and I know it will on our listeners. The way you've shared the story behind Next Steps Australia, the challenges you face and the work and dedication it takes to keep supporting those in crisis is deeply moving. Your unwavering commitment to restoring dignity and hope to so many women and children escaping violence is nothing short of inspiring, and I take my hat off to you. You remind us all that real change is made in the moments where empathy meets action, and you embody that every single day. Thank you for the important work that you do and for taking the time to sit down with me and share your story. You're an absolute glitter queen in my eyes, and I know our listeners will feel the same. Thank you so much for your time today, Bernadette. I wish you all the very best with what's to come. Take care.
Thanks, Kate.
Thank you for joining me, Kate Ganneil, on The Glitter Effect. If you've loved this episode, be sure to subscribe, share it with a friend, and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, keep showing up, making an impact, and sprinkling that glitter wherever you go. Bye for now.